Training 101. And now back to Get Warrior Tough with Andrew and Dutch.
All right. Most monumental hour in media anywhere. We are getting Warrior Tough. Leadership and mental toughness coaches Andrew Wittman and the Dutch Coleman. If you want to join the conversation, we do want to hear from you. 855-856-1380. That's 855-856-1380. Jump on Twitter. Use the hashtag GetWarriorTough. You can find Dutch at the Dutch Coleman, and I'm at WarriorToughPhD. Go to the website, GetWarriorTough.com, and hook in. Also, we want to hear your awful boss stories. Okay, we had our first winner, Vanita Johnson. She gave us a great awful boss story, and she will be receiving the copy of the audio book, Ground Zero Leadership, CEO of You, tomorrow. Woo! I think that's awesome. Dutch, what do you think, man?
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, so now we painted with the broad brush with the 94% white and the old guys and the white guy, but there was an interesting article in a Hollywood Reporter by Scott Feinberg, and he was talking about now. So of course there's a knee-jerk reaction because they have to hurry up and do damage control before the broadcast, right? So they've announced, the Academy has announced they're changing the voter rules. The voting privileges will now be restricted to active members, right? And so they're dumping all the old people.
But you know what they're doing though? They're not dumping the old people. Think about it, because that's where people may want to get defensive and say they're getting rid of, now it's age discrimination. No, they said active. That means you can be old and active. They were identified to people who are not doing anything. Like, we need to drop the dead weight. So if you're old and active, then you don't fall into that category.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so here's a guy that wrote, he said, here's an email he wrote in. He said, notes from the soon-to-be retired Peanut Gallery. This is a longtime member of the writers branch whose credits all came from 1970s. I'm an obvious candidate, he acknowledged, which does not bother me too much, I guess, but I have voted often for Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Samuel Jackson, other people of color. Such a procedure does raise the question of the nature of the Academy. Is its membership based on the merit or accomplishment or in tuneness with what is currently popular? So, and then there's this little blurb. This cracks me up because he interviewed somebody who her name is Mother Dolores Hart. She's 77 years old. She's on the chopping block because she's not active. She's a nun now, up in the Abbey of Regina Laudis in Bethlehem, Connecticut. You know what? She was an actress until the age of 24. Do you know what she was famous for?
What's that? The Sound of Music?
Nope. The first on-screen kiss with Elvis Presley, and now she's a nun.
Ooh. Did Elvis kiss that early?
Yeah, he's like, right? So this is what she says, right? She goes, and this is interesting. I love this take, right? So she goes, I really think that the Academy will miss the input of people who have wisdom and experience, continued Mother Dolores Hart. I live in a monastery, and we have age groups from 23 to 89. She's 77. It's very interesting to see how a younger generation evaluates things, but to cut out the wisdom of another grouping, I think you lose a very important voice. It's age discrimination, she added, and insisted that she and the Academy members that she knows don't have a racist bone in their body. I find the whole thing so disturbing, to say the least. I used to know the president of the Academy, and unfortunately I don't know, but if I did, I would ask her to please reconsider.
You know what? I don't...
There's an old female voice.
I don't mind subscribing to that in the way they're placing, because my thing is, why wouldn't the Academy just increase the membership of the Academy by adding more young people, adding more of other demographics, instead of necessarily chopping the old ones just for the sake of being old? Now, they need to have a category, or they need to have a distinction that says active as far as, are you getting out and seeing the movies? Are you out there actively watching these movies? Because honestly, I don't know how much a nun is watching the movies across the board.
Well, she said they sent her. She said that they send her screeners, right? So she's old now, and she actually has time to watch all the screeners because she's older. She actually has more time to watch everything that they send her. So, I mean, if I lived in a monastery and I was getting free Netflix, I'd be watching that too, man. I'm all about it, right? Hey, I can't do Hail Marys today because there's a new screener came in. I'll see you guys later. But right, yeah.
So it falls back, but see, to me, all of this intelligence or lack of intelligence falls back on the Academy itself. Because their response is to cut the old people, right?
Right. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. They're not actually trying to fix the problem, man. They're trying to do PR, which is the problem with organizations all over this planet. Now, listen, you and I, we talk to a lot of law enforcement agencies, and you and I talked about this with the college stuff coming up, with the fraternities and all. It's like we want to do damage control after we got caught instead of going in there and actually changing the mindset and how we think about this thing, separate facts and truths, become critical thinkers, get some emotional intelligence, and then we head these problems off. Instead, we want to put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole and go, okay, nothing to see here, and then hopefully we don't have to deal with it again until it pops up the next year.
Absolutely. And so the academy, to me, and this is why I wish I could sit and ask one in the academy some questions. As quick as I yell racism, they're doing the opposite by cutting out the older folks in the age discrimination. And so I subscribe to that, because the problem is not just eliminating them, it's increasing.
Right.
It's increasing the other groups, so that people are watching the movies across the board, so you're getting more perspective. Because again, a great piece of documentation can be done on, Straight Outta Compton, a rap group, because you don't have to be interested in rap to look at the cinematography, to see how well the script was written, to see how the lighting was done. Like, you don't have to be interested, but I may not be interested in it, but I need people to go watch that movie. I need people, so I have to increase the membership of active people that I trust to go out and watch all these movies, so that everyone is getting a look. And again, as quickly as I can nominate them, I can eliminate them from contention, because I saw the work and I wasn't impressed, right?
Yeah, you still may take, you still may get, some flack if you're not. The way that this thing is, this is the problem, that it's the corner that Will and Jada and Spike Lee have backed themselves into now. So right now, if I'm Will Smith, okay, so if I'm Will Smith, I can never be sure, if I win next year, I can't be sure that it's because I was great. I'll never be sure that I was ever great again. It might just be because I said I'm not coming anymore. I will. How could he ever know, dude? How could he ever know if he was really that, or they were just trying to placate and get it off my plate and just do a settlement, right? Like we saw out of the Florida State thing, right? We're just give you a settlement. That's all we want to do is just quick give them a lawsuit settlement. Let's get them off our plate. Just give them the money, give them whatever, give them happy. Then let this thing go. How could Will Smith ever think, or even Jada, how could she ever think that if she ever wins anything or gets nominated, that it's not just a way to placate because of the thing that you did now?
And that's where I think if I'm within the academy, I don't care about that. I want to look at my organization and see if I have a competent organization, a well-designed machine that's going to get what I want from it, that's going to support my vision. So once I do that, I can sit in front of a camera and I can defend my organization. Right now, they can't defend the organization because people are crying race. And then I'm sitting there saying, as of 2012, 94% was white. I can't really defend my organization against those claims. When you say there's an age problem, and I look at my organization, the average age is 80, I can't really defend my organization. But what I can do, I can go back to the drawing board, review my vision, review what I consider active or inactive. I can consider all these different things and restructure my organization, so the next time you come into my space, I can knock you down with my new setup. And then, so no matter what happens now, look, all these movies have been reviewed.
Yep.
We strengthened our organization, so people are out there watching. People are out there doing their diligence. They're doing, and then I can respectfully feel good about what I'm doing, and I can walk away, and the cuckoos can cry whatever they want,
because we know we took care of business. Right.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Because right now, when you don't do those things, you get problems on the front end and the back end. Because like you said, now if one wins next year, they're going to go, oh, they just gave it to them. Well, the problem didn't begin there. The problem began before, because your organization wasn't sound.
Right, and I don't see them. I really, and right as of right now, I don't see them making solving the problem. Do you? I mean, and I don't know. I'm not on the inside, but what I'm seeing from the press, what I'm reading now, I don't see them changing. I see them just trying to, spiff up. It's what we call it, like the old spit and wipe job, right? You clean the house real quick before somebody comes over. You're not really cleaning. You shove everything under the bed and into the closet.
Right now they're operating in the American way. I mean, that's the way we do all our things. That's why we continue to see the same problems in leadership over and over and over, because there was never a true solution. Like you said, they end up sweeping it under the rug, or they put a Band-Aid on it, or they spray perfume on a really stinky smell, and then pretty soon the perfume wears off, and then you start smelling that smell again. That's the American way. That's the way we've handled a lot of our problems in the past. Now, the really elite organizations, we use that word elite, elite warrior
the elite
culture.
Yeah.
In that mentality, those organizations, those people, they solve problems. They don't see the same problems over and over again. But right now, our government, academic institutions, corporations, and corporate America. Now you have your few elite organizations, and you're less than 1% in every group that's doing it the right way. But the large majority, they're not. And that's where we come in, and that's why we are able to go around and do what we do, because we're trying to help people take that step into that elite warrior culture, to separate yourself from those average-minded organizations, and that's the key. So do I expect the Academy to do those things? No, because they hadn't hired us, first of all, to come in and talk to them.
Yeah, dude, that's you and I have talked about this before, that it's really, you got to have enough foresight to prevent stuff. You have to be proactive. And this is the American way, like you said, it seems like right now in our culture, is to be reactive, that we only do stuff when we get caught. We only do stuff when it's a problem. And if there isn't any noise, right, why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, even though it is broke. And this is why guys like my age, they don't like to go to the doctor, right? Because I don't want to go find out what my blood sugar actually is, because then I could still lie to myself and delude myself and still eat Krispy Kremes and Oreos, even though it's killing me, right? And then I'll have to, once I like pass out or whatever, or now I have type 2 diabetes. Now I have got to go take, and it's just this whole thing, right? That's like it's been propagated from generation to generation. It seems to be spinning out of control because no one wants to get up on the front end, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's relationships, whether it's in business and leadership, whether it's dealing with something like a race problem, a diversity problem, an age problem, or just plain old incompetence.
Ding, 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 ding.
I just, it shocks me that, and people, and here, and we talked about this before, now just with like, law enforcement departments, there's a thing, it's actually real. It's called the Ferguson effect. I was with some police chiefs down in Florida a couple weeks ago, right? And I've talked to other police chiefs around the country, up in the Northeast, out in the Midwest. The Ferguson effect is real, okay? Law enforcement agencies should be lining up to get this training so people could be, their officers know how to, deal with this stuff and know, to take themselves emotionally out of the situation and be a critical thinker and a problem solver and not somebody that ramps up but knows how to ramp down. But, a city government they don't want to pay, what our fee is, it's just ridiculously low. They don't want to pay the $20,000, but then they'll pay a $2 million settlement and have all the negative press after there's been some crazy thing that happened in their city.
And that, again, we said it the American way, unfortunately, and that's not bashing America. We're talking about the things, the way we do things. This is documented. This is not our opinion. This is documented. And I loved your example with the health, with Mel and preventative health.
Yeah,
that's something that's real. I mean, we do that despite the information that's available. We do that over and over and over again.
We got to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Get Warrior Tough Radio Show.